Hello, Happy New Year. My name's Anthony Hamer. I live in Cumbria, and I wanted to share with you a little project that I've done over the course of the the last year, 2020, during various lockdowns and things. I decided to build a little version of a Cumbrian roundhouse, small enough to be a little camping pod, and I thought that people might be interested, so I shall show you around. There it is. We've had a little bit of snow this morning. Got a view. There's a view down towards Wildboar. You can't see it at the moment because of the clouds. And then above the roundhouse, behind those trees, is the Howgill Fells. So we'll go down the steps carefully, and I shall show you around. Okay, so it's got an OSB board base, and then overlapping 6-inch by inch tannalised boards that they've got galvanised nails through and then clenched, and then a chimney that is actually Scania exhaust pipe that I got from Auto Parts. And then we'll go around the side. There's a gas bottle in there for a little gas ring that's inside. So we'll look round first. There's a little woven stick fence there that my wife made. So there's, if I stand back a bit, there's the view of the front. I made the steps. At first I used logs, but that were cut with a flat edge, but they were slippy. So I made those steps that are filled with stone. Then we've got a cast iron latch and wrought iron hinges. I had to reinforce the hinges because we get severe gales here, and it bent them. So I've put bolts through, and I've also put a door closer on, which I painted with black bitumastic, but it needs it because the weather, it comes straight off the Howgills there, so we'll get 80, 90, 100 mile an hour gusts. The roundhouse itself stands it easily. It's just when you open the door, you've got to be careful, you know. And we've got a door opening latch. I'll need this open because it lets the light in. So welcome inside. I'll shut the cool box for a minute. Right, if we start at the door, we've got a little stool which is made out of a log, and then there's a dog bowl on there that I made. And then we've got an axe that isn't a real axe. It's made from a piece of mild steel that I cut out with an angle grinder, welded it to a piece of box section, hammered it down so it was the right shape, and then a piece of slate lining. So that's screwed to the wall. It's just for decoration. You couldn't use it for cutting wood. Then we've got a lyre, which is a medieval original style of instrument, a bit like a harp, a witch's broom. And then a lot of things came off eBay. So the hooks there were an eBay purchase, and oven gloves for safety with the stove. The stove's from Machine Mart. It's absolutely brilliant. It's their barrel stove. It's a little bit big for in here. It gets it very warm, but I'd rather be warmer than not. And then when the stove's cold and you want a quick brew, there's this little gas ring that can boil a kettle, but you've got to make sure the stove's not lit. If the stove's lit, then obviously you can do any cooking, boiling on the stove itself, and that just hangs up out of the way when it's not in use on the back. So we've got all sorts of kitchen utensils in there. Then there's a galvanised bucket with a wooden lid for clean fresh water. Cast iron pans that I've collected over the years, charity shops, that sort of thing. Cast iron pans are brilliant and they're cheap in charity shops. And then we've got the dresser that I made, which was just the same boards that the outside is made of. Tannalised wooden 6-inch by inch boards, just nailed together with galvanised nails. I also use a bit of polyurethane glue. I like to glue all the joints. It gives it a bit of rigidity when the glue's gone off. Stops it sort of wobbling around. And then, quite interestingly, I hope, we've got these oil lamps. Now these I got off, again, eBay. And they're handmade. And the replicas from an archaeological dig in Sweden. So the proper Viking oil lamps, they've got a wick in the middle. And then you just put vegetable oil in. You can use olive oil, ordinary veg oil. Anything that's cheap and you can cook with. So there's the veg oil in those bottles there. So moving on, we've got the cool box, which was just an ordinary cool box, but I again used the same wood for the outside and some teak wood stain to make it look really old. And then that's got looks totally different when you open it. That's got the cool blocks in there. A little table. You can sit on the cool box, or there's the stool, or you can sit on the bed. So it's great for 2 people, 3 people. Originally I wasn't going to put a window in because a roundhouse wouldn't have had a window, but it felt a bit like a prison cell in here. So we've got a window and then a piece of sacking cloth that I've made the curtain out of, and that just goes on dowels that are in. So you just take it across and put it on the other dowel, and it works really well. And then take it off the dowel, turn it back on itself and put it on there. Now the oil lamps, if you let the oil burn down and the wick gets too long, then they do smoke. You can see a bit of the smoke on the roof there. But it sort of adds to the atmosphere. As long as you're not in there for too long and you adjust it, it's fine. It's no problem at all. And then we've got a double bed. It's a small double, but it's very long. It's about 8 foot long and about just over 4 foot wide. So you can, it's all right for 2 people as long as you're very friendly. And then these, I wanted sort of animal fur to cover the bed because that's what they would have had originally. But I didn't really want original animal fur from dead animals, so I managed to find this fake fur duvet cover pillowcases, and it's really warm because it's fluffy. You only need a really light duvet underneath and it's dead warm. The mattress is made out of 3 single duvets stacked on top of each other and roughly sewn together, and then that's put inside burlap and then sewn up, a big burlap bag, and then we just use ordinary sheets, etc. On top of that. And then there's a little box here, a little cabinet, and inside here we have fire extinguisher, fire alarm, carbon monoxide alarm, first aid kit. But because they look modern, I wanted those inside the cabinet so they were out of the way and couldn't be seen. And then the floor, originally an old medieval roundhouse, Viking roundhouse, would have had a beaten earth floor. So I wanted to recreate that. So I got soil from molehills. The moles did the work for me, dug it up, and dried it out. And then I put resin down on the floor, roofing resin, sprinkled the soil on top, and then clear resin on top of that, polyurethane resins. And so it looks, to all intents and purposes, like a beaten earth floor. I'm really, really pleased with it. It's just on top of OSB board, sterling board, and it's wearing beautifully. You can mop it, you can brush it, you can walk in and out, and it's not worn or anything. It's been very serviceable. So that is one of my crazy ideas that's worked. If we go and look at the sort of basic structure of the roundhouse, it's just fence posts from the farm supplies. And then these boards that you can see are double overlapped. So you've got 2-inch thick walls, and then the nails that come through are just through and clenched over. So they're like riveted together, and it's stood in several massive storms now, and it's unmoved because of the round shape as well. It doesn't catch the wind on any side, so it's totally secure in here. It feels like a little bunker, which is great. It's absolutely brilliant. Your only issue or worry is when you go in and out and the wind catches the door. So yes, and then up in the roof we've got a again off eBay. It's a replica oil lamp, paraffin lamp, but it takes batteries, so it's got an LED in it. It's just for ease in the middle of the night when you go for the loo. You want to go, you don't want to be messing about trying to light oil lamps. You just want some instant light. And then we've got some dried flowers up there just to add to the atmosphere. So yeah, I hope that people find that interesting. I can answer any questions in the comments below. No problem at all. Anybody interested in any of the details of how it was built or whatever, more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much for your interest.